Michael Wolff with some explosive comments, which I actually don't find that explosive. I've said forever, like, this is not an organization that can survive. He foresees the end of Fox News. Duh. Like, if nothing else, we're all over here. We're streaming. We're in the podcast world. We're live on Facebook right now. We are live on YouTube. I'm over on Rumble. I'm over on Twitter. This is the future, ladies and gentlemen, in a 3D world where we can all talk to each other. It is a very, very different experience, obviously, than what you would get when one is on Fox. So anyway, this is the book, Fire and Fury, it is called, The End of Fox News and the Murdoch Dynasty. And it's coming out, I guess, September 26th. And he's predicting the end of the dynasty, the family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Look, there were a lot of problems with Tucker Carlson's ousting. He gets into some of that. He also says something interesting, which is that there were times that Rupert Murdoch wished Trump was dead. Wow. Okay. Tell us how you really feel. Doesn't surprise me. Because again, Trump was a problem for the Murdochs and for their empire. He was not controllable. And they wanted somebody who was more controllable. I'm sure that Bush perhaps was. You know, Bush, looking back on all this, in some ways, you know, the Bush and the Bush family, they've made out like bandits here, because now it's like, oh, wow, you know, they were always in trouble with the left before. And then Trump came in and it was like, they looked like saints, right? But I remember George Bush Sr., before he died, lovely man. I met with him. My thanks to his nephew who set up this meeting in Kennebunkport, Maine. I was there with my family and I went and saw him, and he was in very, very ill health, but he wanted to meet anyway. And it was during sort of the height of everything that was going on problematic wise there at Fox. It was during 2016. And you know, he was very thankful to Fox and to Roger Ailes for, he said, helping to really build his career. He wasn't sure he would have ever been president had it not been for their help. So I think there's some truth to that. He was being very humble in how he said that. But I think that the media does have a tremendous influence on things, or it did. It did in the old days when there were only so many players. I mean, I tell my kids, they're like, what are you talking about? You know, when we talk about, you know, there was only back in the day ABC, CBS, and NBC, and PBS. As a kid, I was only allowed to watch PBS, Sesame Street and the Electric Company. That was like it. And then maybe Little House on the Prairie once a week. And that was all you had. And you know what? If you didn't catch it, you missed it. Good luck. You know, now we get to go watch it all, the reruns. But those options didn't exist. And so in terms of the nightly news scenario, you had a very controlled environment. And then along came cable. Wow, right? And a big story, as in the whole Monica Lewinsky Clinton thing. And so with that, people were sort of glued to their TVs in new ways. And that introduction of cable changed everything. You didn't need network news anymore. You know, the Dan Rathers and Tom Brokaws and Peter Jennings of the world became suddenly passé. And the interesting thing now is it's happening again. And the companies that can keep up with that transition, and I know y'all hate Disney, but I think Disney might stand a chance. I mean, it's a wild gamble, right? They're rolling the dice here, but they want to get rid of ABC. They want to get rid of ESPN. They want to get rid of these legacy businesses and go all in on streaming. That's taking a big chance, but it's the chance you need to take if you're going to survive in this new environment. And I think that no one's willing to take that chance at Fox, in part because, hey, why mess with a good thing? I mean, the cable companies got to pay you a whole lot of money in order for people to have Fox, and people want Fox because they want to watch Jesse at 8:00 or whoever, right? Like they want the 5, they want that programming. But if you, as a network, if you're Rupert Murdoch, you say, forget it, we're going to go stream, well, that's taking a big chance, and you're not going to make the same kind of money in the beginning, right, that you would when you're getting paid by the cable companies. So this indeed is effectively the problem, but eventually, you know, it's all going to change. And you get viewers that, you know, unfortunately, we're all getting older, right? We're all getting older, and the viewers are getting older, and the younger viewers, or the kids, as they say nowadays, they're all over here. They're all like, they're on social media. They don't understand like TV. Like I have to actually sit there and flip the channel. Like it's foreign to them. Are they going to watch a commercial? Probably not. Here's the interesting thing. I was with one of my kids the other day, and I was trying to watch this operatic soprano, because, you know, I love opera, singing Ave Maria, and there's just a beautiful singer, Aida Gifilani. I'll have to double check that. Anyway, gorgeous singer, beautiful young woman. Unfortunately for her, she's Russian, so probably her career is like on the, you know, not exactly on the upswing right now. And we'll talk about Ukraine in just a little bit. But anyway, I had to sit through a commercial first, and I was like, you know, and I'm trying to hit skip ad. And my daughter looks at me and she's like, Mom, it's only 10 seconds. And I was like, wow, she's willing to sit through that 10-second ad to watch that clip. It's just young kids think about this all so differently. But would she be willing to sit through commercials, absorbing live TV, you know, for what, 4 minutes, 3 minutes of commercials, whatever they give you? Not really. Moreover, she doesn't want to sit in front of the TV with the remote. It's like a very, very different relationship. So I agree with Michael Wolff in that this medium is over. Fox News is over. And it's for reasons that, could they control? Sure. I mean, again, I think, forgive me, I think he's 92. I said 93. You just, you know, are the sons that invested? I think one of them is just mortified that his family is in this business. And the other one's like, well, you know, I just bought a $151 million, whatever it was, house in Beverly Hills. So, you know, you can't argue with what it's paying you. But Murdoch does not particularly like Donald Trump. And so, again, I'm just looking through some of the headlines, which are funny, and some of the colorful language that apparently was used by some members of the family. It's entertaining. I mean, there's a lot here. I have to read it to really fully absorb what's going on. And Michael Wolff, I think you need to take with a grain of salt. He's never really liked Fox. I remember once when I first got to Fox, I had actually booked him as a guest because, well, he used to come on my Bloomberg show, and I didn't know they had bad blood or anything. And PR was like, what are you doing? I can't remember if we got him on or not. I have to remember, because then it was like, oh, do we cancel him? They didn't necessarily want to cancel him because that would be tipping him off that he wasn't necessarily most favored nation. But those were games that I was introduced to that I didn't quite, you know, hate to say I was this naive, but I didn't understand that sort of dynamic. I mean, I get it. He had said a lot of bad things about Fox, and so they didn't want him on the air. And I didn't know that or have the history to have been able to understand that. But this is interesting. It looks as though this, you know, he's got a lot packed in here. He's got a lot in terms of the Tucker firing. I do think, as I just showed you, that the Chuck Schumer push to really put the pressure on Murdoch was significant. According to Michael Wolff, Murdoch was like, what do I do? Do I get rid of Hannity or do I get rid of Tucker? And he was like, what's the most bang for my buck? This is what I'm saying, though. Like, if you're Hannity or Tucker, like, who needs it? If I'm Hannity right now, I'm like, you know, thank you very much, guys. I have my nice radio show. I can do everything I want on my own. And I can probably make just as much money or close to it, maybe more, and not deal with your insanity. So I think they're going to have a really hard time hanging on to people. And I think as more and more slough away, they're going to be left with a shell. And the viewers left saying, well, I don't really know if I trust what this anchor is saying, because this anchor can't be so forthcoming. This opinion host can't be so forthcoming, because that's just the way of the world right now. So we'll see. We'll see. Hey everyone, Trish Regan here. If you enjoyed that clip, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel. Just hit that little subscribe button right over there. Did I do that right? Not quite, but you know where it is. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you get the alerts, and I'll see you back on the show.